Hi guys, it's SimLicy here, so welcome to another speed build. So today I am building another family home and another cottage here in Hempford on Bagley. I have been doing a lot of cottages since cottage living came out. I absolutely love this expansion pack. I am having so much fun playing around with the windows and the doors and the roof details and just all the different options that came in this expansion pack, especially the animals I think are super fun. And I have finished another build that is outside of this world. So if you guys are getting tired of it, I do have another one coming very soon that's in a very different world. Completely different theme. I'm very excited about it. I really want to like tell more, but I also kind of want to leave it as a surprise because I feel like a lot of you guys are going to like it. Hopefully anyways. I mean, I really like it. So hopefully if I really like it, then you guys will really like it too. Maybe. If not, then I'm sorry. But I'm very excited about it, as you guys can probably tell. But I'm also really excited about this house. I tried to make it look very cutesy, very cottagey, very Disney, but I also tried to make it larger than I would probably typically do a cutesy sort of cottage. It ended up not really being as large as I would have liked it to be. I was only able to fit in 2 bedrooms on the second floor. You could easily add another bedroom on the lower level because I made like a playroom for the kids. So you could easily turn that into a bedroom if you really felt like you needed more space. I did think for a moment about turning that into the parents' bedroom, but I don't know, I thought a play area would be a lot more fun, and I was kind of thinking there's probably lots of kids who live here on the countryside who need to be watched when their parents are busy working, so maybe they could run like a daycare out of their house, and that's what the playroom is for, even though they only have a couple of kids themselves. That's a possibility. Of course, you could probably also add a basement. I didn't think about it at the time, and I didn't add one, but it's a possibility, probably. I think you could probably fit one in. I'm not sure if like the placement of the way I did the stairs would really work well for a basement, but I'm sure you guys could figure it out because I don't know, it shouldn't be too tricky. But anyways, the shape of the house has came together. Over here I'm adding a little room off the side of the house, and it's just kind of like a mudroom space where I end up putting the washer and dryer and a bathroom. And also something you'll notice about this build, I'm using the option with the like green shutters and the green doors. I was pretty intimidated by this color and I just decided to go for it. I was like, I'm gonna make it work in a house. It really was kind of difficult though when it came to the interior because this green color really doesn't come up that much in like furniture or like wallpapers and stuff. So I tried to make it work. I mean, there's a few different things that we have from like other packs, like the couches that came from Cats and Dogs actually worked pretty nicely to use in this build because it came in a green option. But when it came to like even furniture in this expansion pack, there really was nothing that matched it. So I struggled. It took me a long time to figure it out, but I think I made it come together. I think I'm actually kind of happy that there wasn't a ton of like furniture or decorations that came in this same green color because it might have been too overpowering. I'm not sure if I would have like ended up liking the interior as much as I ended up liking it. So yeah, let me know if you guys would have loved like a full on like lime green interior or if you like this one a little bit better. But yeah, I really like it. Here I'm working out the floor plan, just trying to make sure that everything was going to fit the way I wanted to or that was going to fit at all. Something that I ended up doing was actually using the platform tool to fill in a gap behind the stairs. And unfortunately it made my kitchen like unusable and I could not figure out what it was exactly, but thankfully it was just that, so I had to get rid of the platform so there's kind of like a blank space because I realized recently that you can use the platforms to fill in like places that you just kind of want to block off and not have to be actually part of your floor plan. And I used to just like make black rooms, but if you raise the platform up to the highest level then they don't just look like empty rooms. They look like more of like a structure, like part of the house, if that makes any sense at all. But yeah, it didn't work. It made the stove, well, it made the stove work, but the counter didn't work that was in front of it. For some reason, the sim could not like use the counter for like using like the cutting board or mixing bowl or even to place cooked food on. So yeah, it was a bit strange, but thankfully I figured out what it was and it wasn't the way I decorated the kitchen or anything, so I didn't have to change any of that. But yeah, here I'm just picking out like the wallpapers, trying to figure out what colors I'm going to use, what wallpapers are going to work. But like I said, it was kind of a struggle and there was one option I think of this like wallpaper that came in this expansion pack that had the same color on the wainscoting, but the actual pattern didn't really like have the limey color in it. I don't know. And then this couch didn't come in a lime color. It came in this soft green color, but I didn't even end up using it. I used the couches that came from Cats and Dogs, and I'm so happy that I did because I think they work so well in this home. And I think it just makes it feel so cozy in here because I just love these couches because they have pillows on them and they just look so comfortable and soft. I do like the couch though that came in this expansion pack, but I was kind of expecting something to be, like I was expecting the couches to be a little bit more like this couch that came from Cats and Dogs. Like something that looked more comfy. Let me know if you guys agree, but I do like the couch that came in the expansion pack. I end up liking it like more and more that I use it. Like every time I use it, I end up finding like a color that I think is really pretty because like the color options and the texture on it's really nice too. Just like the colors and the texture, it just doesn't look as like, it looks fancier than I would have imagined to come in this expansion pack. So yeah, I don't know, it just kind of throws me off. But anyways, here moving on to the exterior, trying to figure out where I'm going to place everything. I really wanted to have a lot of things, but really the lots here in the countryside are kind of small. I mean, there's really big lots or there's really small lots. There's like a 20 by 15 out here. This one's a 30 by 20, and I think there's two other 30 by 20s. And then there's two 50 by 40s and a 64 by 64, but there's no 30 by 40s. I wish there was, because I think that would have been like the perfect size to do a smaller farm. So this one's just a small farm. I was barely able to fit anything, but I do manage to fit a barn, one chicken coop, and one animal shed. I really wanted to fit the swing set, but then I also wanted to have a garden, and I felt like it was just going to be way too cramped and crowded if I fit all of those things in. So the thing that I left out was the swing set. But I mean, you could easily get rid of something else if you prefer the swing set over the barn or if you prefer it over the garden. But I felt like that was kind of essential to have a garden and a barn if I really wanted this to feel more like a farm. And so it's just like a tiny little farm. And I was thinking that the kids probably have plenty to do with like exploring the woods and, you know, going out in nature. They don't really need a swing set. Probably. I mean, it would have been nice to have one, but it's not too big of a deal. And then I also add a car in the driveway. I think this car that came in this pack is so cute. You can find it in the live edit objects. There's a few different car options and they're all like adorable. And I know I've mentioned this in every build, but the debug menu is so good. I just love it. So I won't mention it too much, but over here is going to be the garden. So I was going to do the same pattern that I did in the last build that I did because I saw like a ton of people orient the flower beds like this, and I think they look so cute, but I decided to use the other option for this build just to kind of switch things up a little bit because I feel like these cottages can get kind of repetitive. I don't know if you guys just heard my cat sneeze, but he sneezed. It was so cute. Anyways, I have been a little bit worried that these can get a bit repetitive when it comes to the landscaping because, I mean, you add an animal shed, you add a chicken coop and a garden, they can tend to all look the same. At least when I do them, I feel like sometimes I struggle when I find like a way to decorate something and a way to build something that I like. Sometimes it's kind of hard to branch out of it, but I've been trying to make them all look different. So hopefully you guys think they do. But yeah, it took me a little while to figure out exactly how I wanted this area to be laid out. I ended up going into the debug menu and pulling out this open gate. I thought that would look a little bit nicer for the garden itself. And I did have my sim go through and plant the garden with a ton of the oversized vegetables that came in this expansion pack. Of course, you could remove those and have a regular vegetable garden, or you could add like herbs and fruit and flowers. You could have a full-on flower garden if you would like to, but I wanted it to be more like a farm, so I felt like having the vegetables, and of course with this expansion pack it makes sense because you can take your oversized vegetables to the town center and you can showcase them and win prizes. And like I've mentioned before, I haven't done any gameplay, even though I want to. I want to build more, so I haven't done any gameplay, but I don't know anything about the festival, so let me know what you win exactly. Is it just ribbons, or can you win money, or I'm assuming no trophies, because I don't think I've seen any in the debug menu, but I've definitely seen a lot of ribbons. But here I'm working on the landscaping. Of course, as I've been doing in every single build, I'm using a lot of the flowers and bushes and plants that you can find in the live edit objects from this expansion pack. They're beautiful. I know I've said this every time too, but they're just perfect. I love them, and I'm probably never gonna stop using them, especially this grass. This grass is really handy, I think, not just here in this world, but I think I'm going to use it a lot in other worlds too. That other build that I was talking about, I used the grass option a few different times just to kind of make it look a little more overgrown, and It's so pretty. I love it. But yeah, I think this is pretty much it for the landscaping. I do add a little bit of plants here in the garden and some of the grass too. And I also add some of the mushrooms because the mushrooms are also really adorable and I'm enjoying using them a lot too. So I just put a few of them around and I ended up not using that mailbox. I thought about using that mailbox that came from, I think it's from Get Together, because it does look like it would belong in this world, but actually I've been using the one from Snowy Escape in pretty much every single build because I think it just works a lot nicer and it's so much easier because you can just put it right next to the front door or by the garage door or wherever, and it works so easily. Here I'm trying to find some terrain that I wanted to use, and I ended up using this terrain paint, this nice stone pathway, and I think it looks so good on this lot. Like, I wasn't sure like which one I was going to use. I didn't want to use the same one that I've been using from Get Together because I've used it a couple of different times, and so trying to not be too repetitive, I went with this one and I think it looks so good. But here I'm moving on to the interior, starting off by decorating the kitchen. The kitchen did come in a green option that's kind of a more limey green for the counters, but it's not as lime green as the doors. And so at first I was kind of disappointed that they didn't match, but I think if I were to have a lime green option for the kitchen, I wouldn't have used them. So yeah, I think it looks a little bit better. But as you probably noticed, the area right behind the staircase, I did fill it in with a platform, and yeah, it rendered my kitchen basically unusable because the one counter that I left empty for your Sims to use, it blocked it somehow. I have no idea. The platforms, I love them, but they are really glitchy and I hope they will be fixed because I feel like that should not block anything. I guess because it creates a surface that's really high that your Sims feel like they have to set the food on like the top of it. I don't know if that was the case or not. I'm not sure, but thankfully it was an easy fix. But here you can see I'm decorating the kitchen. In this kitchen, I decided to use the stove and refrigerator that came from the Country Kitchen Kit instead of using the ones that came from this expansion pack, just to kind of mix things up a little bit because I've been using the new stove and the new refrigerators a lot in different builds. And so I decided to, yeah, just use a different option, and the Country Kitchen Kit goes so nicely with this expansion pack. The kitchen counters themselves go nicely, the stove and refrigerator go nicely, and especially the clutter options that came in that stuff pack. Or not stuff pack, that kit, that kit pack. Yeah, they work perfectly for adding extra just kitchen clutter that work really nicely for these more like cozy cottagey interiors and farm interiors and stuff too. But over here is going to be that mudroom that I was talking about. So I have a laundry space and then a bathroom. So when the Sims are out in the garden or messing around in the animal pen, then they could easily come in here, change their clothes, get washed up in the bathroom, and they don't have to track a bunch of dirt and mud throughout the rest of the house. So I really like that idea. I think it makes sense for a more farm type build. And I think the decorations look really cute. And I really wanted to use those muddy paw prints. But once I placed them, I didn't think they suited this build, but I have been wanting to use them for a long time and I just never have. I need to like build something specifically for those muddy paw prints because they're so cute and I'm not sure if I've ever used them. If I have, it's been like once. But down here is going to be the downstairs bathroom. So I've been using this base game shower in pretty much every single build that I've been doing because there's a lot of different color options that work with the different color schemes that I've been doing. Because recently I shared a build using the red option. So I used the red doors and the red shutters, and it came in an option with that shower that matched. And so it works perfectly, and this time it came in a green option. And then over here is going to be the living room. So like I mentioned, I used the furniture that came from Cats and Dogs. I really love this couch so much, and I think it looks so good in here, and I ended up putting two of them together to look like an L-shaped sofa. I know that we have sectional sofas now that came from Dream Home Decorator, but the style of them would not match this build at all. But these ones are perfect, and I think they actually look really good when you push them together. Yeah, I don't know, it looks like the most comfy couch ever, and I could just imagine like relaxing, like having the fire going and drinking some tea and reading a book or watching a movie or something. It just seems so relaxing. I love it. But over here by the staircase, I ended up using this bookcase that came from, I think, Realm of Magic, if I remember correctly, but it fit in that spot perfectly. And so I ended up actually using the same bookcase over on the other side of the living room in that gap behind the staircase because it filled in that space really nicely too. But here on the mantle, I add some candles, that really adorable picture that came in this pack, and then also some blank cross stitching displays. I'm not really sure what to call those, but I actually do have my sim go through and place some actual patterned ones. And I did the same thing that I did on the last build, where I used a base game table and I used the tool mod to make the table disappear so they could be at the right level and they don't lay flat, because for some reason, if you actually use the ones that have the patterns on them, they go flat when you use move objects and move them off of a surface, and I needed to have them move off of a surface to be able to place them the way I wanted to. And so it was quite tricky, but thankfully I made it work. But over here, I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I ended up putting a desk because recently I've done the piano trick, and I've done that 2 different times now. And so just to not repeat myself, I decided to not do it again, and I put an office space over here instead. So it's a nice just family computer. I used the typewriter that came in this expansion pack. I think it looks really cute. I do think I probably would have liked the piano idea better, because I think the piano looks cute and I think it just matches these cottages like so nicely. Even though I think the desk space actually looks really nicely too. But I mean, really, you could customize this space depending on your like sim skills. If they enjoy having like the art easel, you could easily make like a little art nook, or if they enjoy reading, you could just put a couple of chairs here. But honestly, there's plenty of places to sit and read. But maybe they enjoy playing chess or something. Yeah, there's just a lot of different options. And then the room over here to the right is going to be the playroom that I was talking about. So if you wanted to have a larger family in this build, you could easily turn this into another bedroom, like no problem. But I thought a playroom would be so fun, and I was really thinking it would be cute if the family that lived here did like a daycare for the rest of the farm kids out here in the countryside. I don't really know how you would make that work exactly, because I don't think we have like a daycare system in the game, but you could have your kids maybe have like a club or something, and you could name the club like the daycare kids. I don't know. I thought that was kind of a cute idea anyways. But over here is going to be the dining room. I skipped over it when I was done decorating the kitchen because I really wasn't sure how I was going to decorate it. But I ended up using this table that came from, I think, Cats and Dogs. But I thought it looked really nice in here, and I thought these chairs actually looked really nice. At first, I was also disappointed that it didn't come in a lime green option, but now looking back, I'm glad that it didn't. But it doesn't match the front door. The front door just stands out so much being like lime green. I did tie it in with the railing on the staircase, so that's lime green, and the couches are kind of like a softer lime. But I don't know, it was a very tricky interior to do, so let me know if you guys think I pulled it off. But here you will see I blocked the door to this bathroom, and I went to play test it, and I clicked on the toilet or the shower or something, and my sim was like, hey, I can't get into the bathroom. And it honestly took me way longer than it should have to realize that I blocked it. I didn't realize it when I took the screenshots. I didn't realize it when I was building it. It took my sim like waving her arm in the air and being like, you idiot, I can't get in there. What's wrong with you? You have to rearrange the furniture, blocking the door. So I fixed it. You'll see it fixed in the screenshots. But yeah, I thought that was pretty hilarious. So I don't know if I've ever done that before. If I have, I've caught it like right away and fixed it, but I must be overly tired. My son is 7 months old now, and he still does not sleep through the night. And I'm just very tired all of the time. I mean, my husband's like, you know, take a nap, or I'll get up for you, or my mom will come and stay and she'll say that she can watch him overnight. But you know, I'm like, he's not gonna need me for that long. And I want to be the one that does it, but I can definitely feel it when it comes to doing these voiceovers, how tired I am. I'm really hoping that he does start sleeping through the night though. But I mean, if he needs me for another 7 months, then that's just how it's gonna be. But I can only imagine the building mistakes I'm going to make if that's the case. But anyways, over here I decorated the kids' room. I blabbered over it, but I decided to have a toddler space and then also a child space. The child, I think, is a huge lover of cats, so I put a bunch of cat decorations around their bed, and I think it's so adorable. And the toddler is a toddler, and that wallpaper, you guys, I'm completely obsessed with. I want that wallpaper in real life. I need to find it, and whenever I buy a house, buy it and put the wallpaper in my house because it's so adorable. But anyways, over here is going to be the parents' room. I also quickly decorated a little, like, it's kind of like a reading nook. I mean, I didn't put a bookcase in there, and I honestly didn't even think the Sims would read there. I imagine they would sit there and listen to music and knit or something, because I also put a little knitting basket next to the chair, but I thought that was really adorable. This parents' room was a little bit awkward because it's such a long and narrow room, and I'm not sure if you guys noticed when I was doing the floor plan, but I thought about making the parents' room a little bit smaller and then squeezing in like another bedroom but I thought it would be way too cramped. But really, if you don't mind small bedrooms, you could probably honestly split this into 2 rooms and have the parents' room be very small, or have like a single parent and push the bed up against the wall. And then that would be a little bit less cramped probably. But I wanted space for 2 parents so they could easily get to both sides of the bed. And then I was also able to make a little table over here with a couple of chairs. I thought that was really adorable, and I love the tea set that came in this pack. I thought that looked really cute over there. But over here is going to be the dresser, so I just cluttered up with a few decorations. And then yeah, here I'm adding a couple of extra like decorations to the wall. I thought I was done with the interior, but I decided it looked a little bit blank, so I just switched up things a little bit. And I also thought about adding a painting above the bed, but I ended up not leaving it there. I felt like it was kind of unnecessary. So yeah, I don't know, I think it looks nice the way it is. But over here is going to be the barn. So the barn is the last spot that I decorate, and in here I just add basically clutter that I thought would make sense for the interior of a barn like this. And so I just add some like extra hay. I add the shovel and pitchfork rack that came from Get Together, and then also just some like clutter and plants. I also add the flower arranging table. Of course, if you don't want to use the flower arranging table, the woodworking table would work like really nicely in here, or the decorative one that came from Cottage Living itself would work nicely in here. But I wanted something that was functional, and I thought a flower arranging table would be pretty nice, although I don't imagine these Sims have any flowers to arrange because their garden is full of vegetables and not flowers. So maybe the woodworking table would have made more sense, but that's an easy change if you find it more useful. But they could also go to like a community garden to pick flowers, or just around the world and pick flowers and arrange them. So there's a lot of different options. But anyways, yeah, I just add the plant decorations and the few other decorations that I was talking about, and I think it ends up looking really nice in here. So hopefully you guys will like it too, and hopefully you guys have liked this build in general. And hopefully you guys like my idea for the family. I didn't go into like too much detail because I didn't really think about like the individual personalities too much. I mean, a little bit for the kids, or at least the one that likes cats anyways, but yeah, kind of slacked on that. But hopefully you guys don't mind. But anyways, we are coming up on the screenshot, so I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I hope you guys enjoy the screenshot. So thank you so much for watching, and please leave any comments or suggestions you have, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!
Thoughts. I think about you all the time, morning, evening, and midnight. Such a wonderful delight. Forgo, give up everything that I own. Yeah, I'd give it all up now, just to be with you somehow. Unexpected love was found. You're the rose in a garden, shows if I'm honest. You're the leaves in mid-August, and I've come out here to say that I love you. Ooh, ooh, you, ooh, ooh. So slow, you in my arms, won't let go. The world around could pass us by, a thunderstorm, a lightning strike, as we hold each other